My name is Nick Athanasiou. I'm the Creative Director of Skunk Control, a group out of Melbourne. We sort of combine art and science to create works, I suppose, that connect with audiences but actually prompt a certain discovery. We're a small group, 6 members. Our backgrounds are essentially in the engineering and science area. We're also educators. This is our first exhibition in the US, and it's the first appearance of Delicate Forces. The majority of the pieces are actually brand new, just put together for this particular exhibition. And they're designed to really ask or to prompt questions. We find that art and science are very similar in some respects in that they're there to engage you to actually ask questions and to seek answers. And that's what we intend this piece to be, not just purely an aesthetic one, but one that actually prompts you to ask, well, how is this working, what's behind it, and take you on a bit of a questioning journey, I suppose. The flowers themselves are based off a number of plants that we've looked at, from the ginkgo to a banksia, for example, but they're hybrid. So it's a unique species that we sort of put together that actually has elements that we see typically. You'll notice that a lot of them will look like dragonfly wings, so we've incorporated the insecticide aspect into it as well. We find that potentially that there is some sort of like synergy between insects and the flowers in which they get their sustenance from as well. So we thought that a combination of those two would work perfectly. Again, because of butterflies and the way they change colour and dragonflies and the way their wings change colour, we thought it would be an apt opportunity to combine the floral world with the insecticide world to create something that's fairly unique. The piece within the lobby is referred to as Epiphany's Genesis, and the idea behind it is for you to explore it, but it also gains from your ability to basically look up into it and actually reflect and also come up with creative ideas yourself. It's a fully mechatronic installation, and it's basically got a number of components. The main component is a series of petals that actually open and close, and as they open they reveal an internal ecosystem, and that ecosystem is handcrafted out of recycled materials. But we've actually augmented these recycled materials to actually alter light as it goes through them. We've got a number of filters in there too, so what you tend to see is this internal ecosystem that's undergoing its own colour metamorphosis, and it's cradled within a larger system of petals which basically protect it, open and close to reveal it. So it's a multi-layered kinetic work which we find people really react to fondly, purely because you don't expect a colour metamorphosis to take place within a flower itself, so it's quite unique in that respect. The main piece within the actual atrium is a combination of species of flowers. We've taken one particular species of flower and we've called that the originator, and what we've done is we've travelled forwards 3 million years and taken samples of what it eventually becomes and brought them all together. And so what you have here essentially is a crucible of this particular species alterations or evolution throughout millennia, living side by side. One of the things we'd like the audiences to actually participate in is trying to puzzle together which one was first and which one followed after that. But they're all related, and they've all got certain structures which basically go back to one originator, and the whole idea is to track that down. The conservatory's actually got an infinity pool, and it's divided up in 2 sections, an internal and an external section. What we've also positioned in both of those sections are 2 different species of flowers which, although different, are related in some ways. The external one is referred to as the fire flowers, and they are essentially flowers that will light up at night, and they'll also provide a bit of a pinkish bluish tinge. The internal ones are almost like light soldiers. Think of them as being bastions, I suppose, that actually herald the arrival of light, and they're quite large and bulbous and very much lantern-like, and at night they will light up to basically signal that light has exited and that darkness is coming through as well. They're made up of various types of materials ranging from dichroic optical filters down to diffraction filters, all of which alter light rather to create unique colour effects. The work is designed to both engage day and night, and because we actually focused on nature, nature's quite amazing the way it actually manipulates lights depending on how you observe it. You can look at a butterfly from different angles and the colour appears to be different depending on your perspective. The same thing applies here. By actually altering one's perspective, the palette of colours actually alters, And that comes down purely to the actual optical filters used and the technology that underpins those. They allow for light to actually sort of reflect in different ways, purely based on their materiality. So by you moving a couple of feet left or right will actually slightly change the colours that you see. But also, because some of these flowers are also mechatronic, their movement themselves also provides for an additional colour change. Again, because you're changing the vantage point that you're observing, the colour also changes. So the whole point here is, and the intention is, as you walk underneath some of these flowers, you will be coloured, and as you walk past, the colours will actually change on you as well. We like the idea of you being part of the actual work itself. Essentially what it comes down to is a massive thank you to the staff at Nicholas Conservatory. Really a very, very sincere and heartfelt thank you to the crew. They've done an amazing job at getting us through the chaos, and a special thanks to the skunk control team too, for working under tough conditions. And I think the final thing to say, it's actually nice to roll up one's sleeves and actually do the work that needs to be done, and that's something that the Nicholas Conservatory team has taught us as well. They're happy to go out of their way and get things done. But it's a nice synergy between two groups from opposite sides of the world that come together to actually create something which we think the community is going to love.